Hello again, welcome back to the wonderful model horse collection unboxing video series. This is box 12 and it looks like it's going to be a fun one. This week we have Breyer Spanish Charging Bulls. Keep. He did, so let's find out what he kept. Now I know this mold is the Spanish Fighting Bull, so that's probably what I'm going to call him most of the time. So our first model looks to me like an original finish, original black Spanish charging or fighting bull. This mold was released in 1970 and this original black color was continued on till the mid 80s sometime, 84, 85. So quite a few years. He was pretty popular and he was made in solid black, no detailing to him. And then his horns are molded in separate plastic and then applied, and they'll be white with a little bit of black accent on the edges. Just a really nice mold, pretty good condition. He has a few little scuffs, but not too bad at all considering his age. So a very nice original Breyer Spanish Charging Bull. Next we have what looks like another original finish, black. Yep, this guy is interesting. He is A, very dirty, B, very, very, very matte black color. So I'm not 100% sure if this, he looks like he just has a lot of dirt on him. So I don't know if that'd be washed off or not. But one interesting thing is his horns are made in gray plastic. During the oil crisis era in the mid-70s, plastic got scarce and expensive because it was being used for other industries. So Breyer did a lot of regrinding where if they had a horse or a piece that they didn't like, they'd throw them in the regrinder. So the color of plastic that was coming out varied. So this guy is made in a very gray plastic for his horns. I always referred to that as chalky, but it's not the typical base coat chalkiness of the donkeys and mules that we saw a couple weeks ago. He is just gray plastic with his black coloring over the top. So really nice piece and a definite variation. Collectors who like this mold will definitely collect both the white and the gray horn variations of him. Next, we have, this guy looks different. He looks like he's a gray. He is. He is a very nice, nicely shaded gray matte in color. I think this was a regular run, and I'm going to date him to the mid-90s, and I'm going to do that because he has the bi-eye that I've talked about in previous episodes where it's black with a little bit of brown accent. He is a really, really beautiful color. This gray is just beautifully shaded. He has one little rub on him, but other than that, he's got nice crisp white horns, very little damage, and this color just really makes him stand out. It's a really beautiful mold. I think it was a regular run, and about that time period, Breyer was doing their regular runs for 5 or 6 years, so he probably ran for most of the mid to late 90s. The bi-eyes, however, were only done for maybe a year or so. So another really, really nice model. Next, we have something that I don't recognize. This guy looks brown. Oh, he's a custom. And, oh my gosh, he is a custom by Janet Davis. She's one of my very good friends. Her models that she custom paints are painted with the initials JD and a handprint in silver underneath the front legs. I have one of her custom pieces, and that's the mark that she does on her customs. It looks like she took a regular run black Spanish Fighting Bull and did a really pretty mahogany brown over the top of it. It's definitely modeled. It just looks gorgeous. This is a beautiful example of a custom on this mold. Very striking. She glossed his eyes. Looks like she left the horns alone, or maybe she accented the black on it. But just a really, really nice color on this mold. Makes him look very majestic. Not kind of like a really nice bronze. So a beautiful custom on this mold. And last but not least, this guy I think was a BreyerFest special run, if I remember. BreyerFest started making special runs that you could buy. He has no marks on him, but I believe that is what he was. He's in a really pretty apricot dun, and he has gray horns. Most of the time, the quote-unquote non-horse special runs were made in very small numbers. So I'm going to probably say he was made in the 300 to 400 quantity, which is very small. And there were a lot of Spanish Fighting Bull collectors, so he is very, very popular. He's in very nice shape. He has a few little tiny black marks on his back haunch. Other than that, he is in nice shape. I don't think they came with certificates or anything back then. He was one of the earlier special runs that Breyer put out at BreyerFest, and at that time, it was a lot different than it is nowadays. I don't think they came with certificates. They didn't come in boxes or bags with any kind of particular marking, but he is one of the earlier Breyer special runs in a really pretty color. All of these have just been really beautiful on this mold. They didn't do a lot of special runs. I think this is almost all of the Breyer Spanish Fighting Bulls that were made. So a lovely collection and a very, very beautiful models. So join me next week and we'll find out what's in the next box. Thanks.